Hello there, everybody. It's me, Stefan, from my scenic one-room apartment in central Tokyo, the bed. I'm sick. That explains the general state of half undress and the unshaved head and beard and all that jazz. And well, I mean, I've always been a chubby guy, so that doesn't really explain that. That's a separate thing. Um, yeah, you might be wondering why I decided to start a whole new YouTube channel lying in bed while under the weather. I don't know. I got really sick the last week, and how things went was kind of, I don't know, maybe it'd be interesting to you guys. So let's get to it. Well, first things first. I'm alive. I'm not dying, so that's good. My left ear still can't hear anything out of that for the most part. It's getting better though. When things were at their worst slash scariest on like Sunday or Monday, which was a couple days ago at this point, my ear was like so full of pressure that like I literally it felt like someone was just like pressing their hand against the side of my face. And at the same time, my vision issues were also making it hard to function just from like a pure visual standpoint as well. Plus, the pink eye was so bad that one of the nurses at one of the clinics I went to literally recoiled when I took my sunglasses off. So that was a fun experience. No one wants to be like the ugly gargoyle or whatever. I always have been, so nothing new there. At one point, the rash, or I don't know what like the infection under my arm was so bad. It was like crusting over. It crusted over so much, like the pus. There was so much pus that dried up that like my arm was literally glued to my side. Ow. Thankfully, I think the worst of that is behind me. I'm on a looped up on a whole bunch of antibiotics. And I'm alive. I'm alive. Uh, and that's really all I could ask for. I don't think I would have died necessarily if I didn't get treated or get any treatment whatsoever, but I certainly was not going down a good path. So thanks to all the people involved for keeping that together. But anyways, I've been sequestered in my apartment for the last couple of days, sequestered for like the rest of the week and probably the beginning of next week because I have been fighting off a bacterial infection, we think. I say we think because in true Japanese medical system fashion, we went through three different, I went to three different clinics. Um, so on Sunday, things are getting really, really bad with my ear. So I went to the ear doctor right next to my local Yamanote Line train station. It was like one of the few. Every single doctor's office closes on the weekend here in Japan. It's a problem. Like people don't stop getting sick on the weekend because it's the doctor's day off, and with if it's like unless the only option if you get sick in Japan on a weekend is to pretty much go to the emergency room or call an ambulance. Like there's no like medium option. There's no like doctor you could like an urgent care clinic or anything. It's really hard to get any medical attention whatsoever on a weekend. So I found like the one place I was open, uh, and it happened to be like 10 minutes away from my house by foot. So I walked over there, struggled over there, I should say, got tested. The doctor there, the lady there, it was the ear doctor place. So she looked in my ear and she said, it looks like herpes. Now, I don't want to brag, but I have I'm not the most sexually active person. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would have happened unless the whole getting STDs from a toilet seat thing is actually possible, which I don't think it is. I hope not, because I've sat in a lot of toilets in my time. In case you really couldn't tell from my accent here, I am from America. So as an American, the thing that I really appreciate about this whole situation is, well, it's really hard to appreciate being in terrible health and potentially losing the hearing in your ear. But the thing that really saved me about this entire situation is how cheap, both in a good way, but mostly in a good way for this situation, but also kind of in a bad way, how cheap and accessible Japanese healthcare is. I should say that my 3 clinic visits, two next close to my house, one in Shinjuku, at a eye doctor that apparently, supposedly this eye doctor spoke English. One thing I noticed after my first visit, like my emergency visit on Sunday, was to the ear doctor. She was like they were like the only place open, so I went there because I had no other options unless I wanted to go like pretend I was really really bad and had to take an ambulance to like the hospital. The hospitals, of course, are still swamped by like COVID stuff, so probably not the best option. But so I went to this clinic on Sunday. The doctor, they were really really not mean or anything. I was and I should say on Sunday I wasn't really in the right state of mind to like really talk, like hold the conversation in English, let alone Japanese. Um, and so this doctor and her staff were obviously trying their best to to take care of me or whatever. But I should also say that at that point I was pretty much mostly deaf. So I don't think I would have understood her even if I was in like a right like state of mind. Anyways, she took one look at my ear. I told her that I think I might have taken my pink eye and given myself an ear infection from my pink eye. I don't know. I did some internet Googling beforehand and came to that conclusion with my Google medical degree. She said, no, it's probably not the case. She took a look in my ear, drained my ear. That lasted like 4 minutes, and then it got filled back up again, and said that it was herpes. She said I had herpes. I obviously kind of freaked out. Was like, wait, what? Googled that afterwards. Came to the conclusion that I might have had shingles, which also not a great diagnosis in my part. Although I did have chicken pox, but as a kid, but like I'm also 31 years old, so I'm a little young to start getting the shingles, like the full impact of shingles, but not unheard of. So that was the diagnosis I went walking into. Where was I again? I should mention that like the 10 different varieties of medicine I'm on right now probably have concocted some strange chemical cocktail that have given me like a horrible case of brain fog here. So I probably should have written down my thoughts ahead of time, but I didn't because loosey goosey. So, oh boy. I'll have to try to edit this in post. I probably won't. Okay, that's right. English speaking doctors. So, yeah, after my first visit to that ear doctor, who prescribed me antibiotic drops for my ear, which are so far not too effective, I don't think. I realized that even though I can speak Japanese to the point that I translate for a living, when it comes to my health, I'm not like a health translator, so like I'm not like aware of like the Japanese medical terms for everything, right? So I figured I should probably go see doctors that have advertised themselves as being able to speak English. That way, there's no herpes diagnosis lost in translation moment. Because I went to the skin doctor. So the eye doctor told me I should see the ear doctor said I should see an eye doctor and a skin doctor to confirm her diagnosis, which was kind of interesting there. That's part of the thing about the Japanese health system. Like the Japanese health system, there are general practitioners, but for a large part, there are so many like specialty clinics. So like when you have like an issue with a certain part of your body, you don't go to see like your general physician. You go to see like a specialist who has their own little clinic on whatever part of your body is ailing you. So yes, that's how I got upsold onto 3 different medical appointments. And none of them sharing information, so that's helpful. Or maybe it is actually kind of helpful because the skin doctor spoke great English, which was really really helpful. Also, I was more lucid that day. So I also spoke Japanese. So it was like a mixed match of mixture of Japanese and English, kind of going back and forth. She immediately took like graft or skin samples of my infection on my arm, which at that point had gotten so bad that it was hard for me to walk, because like whenever my arm moved, it felt like someone was like jabbing me in the ribs with like a knife. And also there was pus like all over my shirt. Great imagery. Just be thankful I didn't take any pictures in real time. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Um, a But anyways, the God, I am out of it. This is gonna be like a 45-minute long video, which I know was not a great idea to launch your YouTube channel with, but Yoshimoto's been kind of telling me to launch an English YouTube channel for a while, and I honestly have been bored out of my mind just lying in bed all day. So even though I can't really hear what's going on, that's what I'm doing. Anyways, the doctor took skin samples, immediately confirmed that it was not herpes, thankfully. That would have been hard to explain. And then the second, she also immediately confirmed that it wasn't shingles, which was my working theory at the time. Yes, internet detective Stefan with his very, very smart internet medical skills. I blew that diagnosis. Dr. House, I am not. So that she said it wasn't that. She gave me a bunch of antibiotics. She said it's probably a bacterial infection. She didn't really know what it was, and she told me to see her 5 days later. That's like 4 days from now. Gave me lots of a prescription for a lot of different pills and stuff and creams, ointments. Vaseline was one of the things that she prescribed to me. Yes, apparently you can't just buy Vaseline over the counter here, which is something I didn't know. To help me with my elbow or with my armpit issue, which it has greatly. She also recommended I see an eye doctor to get that taken care of. Even though at that point we kind of figured, okay, so the infection in your armpit spread to your you probably touched your armpit and then touched your eyes, and then probably touched your ear afterward. And as a result, you gave yourself a bacterial infection in 3 different parts of your body. At least that was what she thought. So she said you should go see an eye doctor. I went to an English-speaking eye doctor in Shinjuku afterwards, literally next to Shinjuku Station. Except this eye doctor, it was like a general general hospital. There's apparently like 10 doctors working there, like an entire 9th floor of a. So it sounds like someone dropped something off their balcony in this complex. This eye clinic took up like an entire floor of an office building in Shinjuku. I went there because they supposedly spoke English, but then the receptionist was like, "Hey, you said you wanted to see someone who spoke English, but that might take a while. Would you be willing to see someone who speaks Japanese instead?" I said, "Sure." And I went there. They also sequestered me off into a corner. They're like, "Okay, you're probably infectious, so just stay in this corner over here, and this corner of shame, and don't you dare leave it." I accidentally did, and I got yelled at, so that wasn't that fun. But I went there. The eye doctor lady, I don't know why I had to put the lady part in, but then, anyways, the eye doctor said that you have bad pink eye. Here are 3 different eye drops and also a cream to put around your eyes so you don't scratch yourself at night, I guess. No, the cream, I guess, was to... I don't know what all the medicine's for. I'm just taking all the medicine as much as they tell me to take it. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah. So, anyways, what I was saying, back to the eye doctor. She looked at my eyes. She said, "There's probably I scratched my eyes so much over the weekend apparently that I might have given myself permanent eye damage." But she said to come back a week later to see like if the scratches are all healing up. The good news there is I can still see functionally. Like it's not like unless these scratches get worse over time, which maybe is a possibility. I'm not an eye doctor, and I don't feel like googling it because I'm sure Google's going to tell me that like my eyes are going to fall out of my eye sockets or something. I have a week to get my eyes healthier. Three I have to drop eye drops in my eyes. Three different eye drops in my eyes 4 times a day. I have to take antibiotic pills after every meal. I have to rub cream around my eyes before I go to sleep. I have to put ointment on my armpit 2 times a day. Eardrops in my ears 2 times a day. And also, they prescribed me ibuprofen because ibuprofen is not an over-the-counter medication over in Japan. And also, I forgot what it was, like an anti-inflammatory thing as well. I think to keep the swelling down my ear, which hasn't been working that great. Long story short, I have to take a crap ton of medicine now. But all 10 varieties of medicine put together cost around, I like putting it all together. It came over 2 different days, like 2,400 yen. I think when I put it all together, it was like 2,400 yen for like 10 different subscriptions at once. No, prescriptions. I don't know why I said subscription. It's prescriptions at once. Yes, 10 prescriptions for 2,400 yen. This is all for like a week amount or like 5 days of medicine. Yeah, and also my 3 doctor's clinic appointments. Overall, they cost like, man. So the first clinic was like 1,200 yen, which I guess you get what you pay for. The skin doctor, apparently she specializes in cosmetic surgeries and stuff, but she's also advertised as an English-speaking skin podiatrist? Dermatologist, that's the word. She's advertised as a dermatologist who speaks English, and she was probably the best doctor of the bunch, really, really helpful. Even though she doesn't do ear and eye stuff, she kind of like had like a good idea of like what to do there and like what could cause interconnected bacterial infection and stuff. I would recommend her. She only costs $2,000, and she's apparently like some like highfalutin like expert dermatologist like lady. I don't know why I keep saying lady. Man, that's the inner sexist dude in me. And then the eye doctor costs like $2,200. I'm assuming most of that goes to like the rent for that apartment or for that doctor's office, because Shinjuku office space is not cheap. But all in all, this entire medical experience, the 10 varieties of medicine, all the doctor's appointments, this is only like the first visit. I'm going to go back for follow-ups to all these places for the most part. Only cost overall like less than 10,000 yens, like less than 100. Well, obviously less than $100 now because of the exchange rate, but like it's like probably overall like 80 bucks, $80. $80 for 3 different doctors' consultations and a crap ton of drugs, including antibiotics that are probably killing my gut biome, but are hopefully getting rid of the bacterial infection that's been ravaging my body. All for less than $100. Now, there's a whole, you get what you paid for thing about the Japanese healthcare system. But when you factor that all in, you can kind of see why Japan has like the longest lifespan of any developed country in the world, right? If you're sick, if a Japanese person's sick or feels bad, they can go to see whatever doctor they want for cheap. And that doctor can get them the medicine they need, or the medicine the doctor thinks they need, for cheap. Really, really cheap. And so as a result, there's no stigma to there's a stigma to missing work when you're sick, which is a whole other issue I'll talk about in some other video. But there's a whole, you can just go feel better. You can get what you need to feel better as quick as you can. I think were I to do this over again, which I do not recommend, were I to get sick again, I would probably go see the doctor sooner than I did in this current situation. Hopefully if I did, I wouldn't be in the state I am now, where my ear is. No, I don't want to say that. I mean, yeah, my ear, not in a great condition. It's better than it was before, but I'm not sure when or if it'll get back to anywhere close to where it used to be, which not exactly what you want to have happen as a professional, as a person who needs to use his ears to do work. So here you have it, all the different kinds of medicine, all the medicine that I got from my 3 different doctors over the last couple days. One thing I should mention too, like this like the clinical healthcare stuff, great, but the 24-hour emergency room care, going to like the actual hospital generally tends not to be a great experience from everything I've heard. Plus the one time I not hit my head in class in comedy school and had to go to the hospital. Not a great experience overall, I think. But in terms of like this sort of stuff, no complaints. So I just got to keep taking my medicine, stay on my strict regime, and hopefully things will get better soon. And I can start making videos that you guys actually want to see instead of random videos of me sitting in a small one-room apartment. I should probably do a room tour. Not right now, though, because it's messy. But yeah, I think once I get better and I can hear good enough to not get hit by a car that I don't hear coming, I think I might be filming more videos. So until then, thank you guys so much for washing, wash too, please. That might be part of the reason this happened. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. Until next time, I'm Stefan. Sayonara.